I've been a product guy since the early 2000s. I lived in Asana, Trello, Jira, Linear, Notion, you name it. After 2 decades of this, I realized that the big problem in project management isn't the organization, it's actually the communication. Most teams think that Slack is for talking and Jira is for tracking. They think that separating the discussion from the actual task is just how it works. But that separation is exactly what kills your momentum. When the discussion leaves the ticket usually dies. Basically, projects move if people respond. If people do not respond, your project doesn't move. I've moved teams of 25 people from the typical project management tool plus Slack chaos into structured communication. Today, I'm going to show you the inbox that I've built to get people to actually reply in the tickets. I want to explain to you why this inbox gets used while other project management tools inboxes do not get used. Essentially what we've done with all of Hypertask is gamify the whole experience, and we made it a game that you can win. Winning the game on a daily basis is getting to inbox 0. This means that playing this game of Hypertask is now a high-performance skill which directly relates to your business results. One of the ways how we gamified Hypertask is by giving every view complete keyboard shortcuts. As you can see, I can control the whole inbox with my keyboard shortcuts, and now mastering and learning those keyboard shortcuts directly relates to my business success. All of Hypertask is just 3 views, but all 3 views can be used through keyboard shortcuts. For example, I can use Alt-1 to jump to my actual project board. I can move the cursor on the project board and I can go to an actual task like this. Now I'm on the actual task view, which is also completely controllable with keyboard shortcuts. All of the task properties, for example, I can control with keyboard shortcuts. I can also reply quite easily by pressing Ctrl M. I can invoke AI from within the comment. So it's incredibly gamified and streamlined. Let me show you how the keyboard shortcuts inside the inbox work. J to move down. K to move up, Tab to jump between splits, Shift Tab to jump backwards. You have the E button which archives a message, Z to undo. You have H to remind yourself of a message in a future point in time. You also have Control A to mark several tasks. You can also press the Shift key and mark tasks like this. By pressing Shift and J, you move down and just add more tasks. And you can also bulk archive and bulk defer. So as you can see, my inbox has certain splits here on top. These splits sort all of my messages automatically in certain categories. At first, I have the important split, which are messages that the system deems important for me. Next, we have the add mentions, something you might know from Slack. These are messages where you have been explicitly mentioned. Next, we have the update split, which is just when a ticket is moved along the project board and people move it from column to column, the ticket will show up here. The reaction split just shows you whenever people react to messages that you've written. And next are the actual project splits. Now these are basically 1 split per active project you have in Hypertask. All these tools combined allow for a fast triage of the inbox. This sort of loop that creates positive reinforcement is why people like using this inbox and keep coming back to it. We've done this with teams up to 25 people where we've moved pretty much all of the project communication from Slack into this inbox. Obviously, learning Hypertask has a certain learning curve, but teams that are serious about progress go through this learning curve really quickly. We've added an interactive tutorial which teaches you the keyboard shortcuts of all of Hypertask in 3 minutes. Here, for example, are the keyboard shortcuts for the actual project board. J to move down, K to move up, Tab to jump between columns, Shift Tab to go backwards, Enter to open a task, Control M to write a comment, Control Enter to send that comment, A to assign somebody, P for priority, Escape is the global back button, G then I to go to the inbox, which are the global keys, but you get the idea. Everything is a keyboard shortcut and you never have to use the mouse. So now when you take the time to learn those keyboard shortcuts, you're literally flying through the whole tool and you get to inbox 0 in no time. One thing we do to actually build momentum as you go through the messages in your inbox is to scroll you down to the latest message of that particular task as soon as you enter the task. You can change that setting to no scroll, scroll to bottom, or scroll to bottom when coming from the inbox. I personally have it set to scroll to bottom, and which is also the default setting, because 9 times out of 10, when you come to a task that you're already working on, you know the full context and you just want to see the latest reply from your coworker. You can, of course, always jump to the top of the ticket by pressing GG, or jump to the bottom of the ticket by pressing Shift GG. You can also expand all messages with Shift O, or you can expand certain messages by just pressing O. Another thing we do to give you quick context of whichever task you're in is by pressing I, you get a real-time AI summary of the current standing of this task. This will help you to catch up on tasks that you come into late. Another quite aggressive UX setting that we offer is as soon as you reply to a ticket, we move you on to the next one. So as you can see here, when I press Ctrl Enter to confirm a comment, it will basically send the message, archive the notification, and move on to the next task. So let me just dictate a message here. Thank you for the update. Please keep me posted. So now I'm going to press Ctrl Enter, and that will literally send the message and move me on to the next task. We do this to prevent inbox clutter and move people from ticket to ticket to have a higher likelihood that your whole team reaches inbox 0.